Hello, I am Benjamin Mako Hill, and I am incredibly honored to accept a Research Symbiont Award. Since I suspect I will be unfamiliar to basically everybody at the conference who wasn't on the award committee, I'll briefly introduce myself. I'm an assistant professor of communication at the University of Washington, and for the year I'm a fellow at the Center for Advanced Studies for the Behavioral Sciences at Stanford. I'm a social scientist, and my research involves studying online communities. I've been asked to say a little bit about the work that I've done that caused me to be nominated for the award, and I think it basically boils down to 3 projects. First, over the last few years, I've worked to systematically provide replication data sets for all the empirical papers that my lab is producing. Although it's common elsewhere in the sciences to do this, it's really still almost unheard of in my fields, and my research group is really trying to demonstrate to other folks in communication and in social computing research that it can be done and that it's really valuable. Second, I've created a series of data sets to help people do Wikipedia research. Although I'm sure you all know Wikipedia, you might not know that because the nonprofit that runs Wikipedia has made the full history of every contribution to every article and every active communication between users on the site available to other researchers, Wikipedia and the website has become one of the most fecund laboratories for social research in history and has produced literally thousands of research papers. But despite that productivity, doing valid social research using Wikipedia requires an enormous amount of expertise, storage, and computational power. Now, I've done a bunch of that empirical research, but I've also published a set of derivative data sets that try to make it easier for other researchers to ask and answer social scientific questions using Wikipedia in methodologically sound ways. The work that I've done was done collaboratively with my colleague Aaron Shaw, who I happen to know also nominated me for this award, so I wanted to take the opportunity to thank Aaron for all of that. That said, I think that the most significant thing that I've done that sort of led to the nomination for this award was the production of a single data set from the Scratch online community. Scratch, you might know if you have kids. Kids is a website created by a team at MIT that has been used by tens of millions of children to write computer programs, to learn to program using a graphical programming language, and to publish the programs that they create in ways that allow them to interact in lots of fun and social and creative ways that includes liking each other's projects and commenting and remixing each other's work. Now, the data set that I prepared and released included comprehensive public data from the first 5 years of the Scratch online community, which includes tables with data about users and projects and code and social interaction and much, much more. It is, as far as I know, the largest and broadest and most comprehensive research data set on computing and learning anywhere, and perhaps on children's social interaction online in a more general sense. Now, Andres Monroy Hernandez, who's now at Snap Research, was a collaborator with me on this project, as the two of us spent years working together. Andres deserves at least as much credit as I do, and I want to make sure that sort of that said. And I also want to thank the Scratch team at MIT, who really made everything possible by agreeing to release the data in the first place, and by working really carefully and very thoughtfully with Andres and I, and with the MIT Ethics Board, to figure out a way to do a data release in a way that was safe and minimized risks for all the users who are represented inside of it. So that's my work on data sharing in a nutshell. But I also want to say that I deeply appreciate the recognition from the committee, and that I'm incredibly sad that I couldn't be with all of you, and not only because you guys are all in Hawaii. Work on systematic data sharing of biological data by folks at the conference has really provided me with both the inspiration as well as the infrastructure for many of the things that I've done that this award is being sort of given in recognition of. When Andres and I contacted Nature's Scientific Data Journal about publishing a descriptor of the Scratch data, they had actually never published a paper using behavioral social data at all. And so although we had to figure out some of this stuff as we've gone along, it's been really wonderful to be able to piggyback on the work that folks in the biological sciences have done to make it possible and even easy to do things like publish data descriptors in reputable journals, or to have archival places to deposit data, and so on. So thank you all for all of that. I'll also say that being a social scientist makes this award super special for a few reasons. For one, it means that I'm going to have to explain to all my colleagues what a symbiont is and why an award for being one is a good thing that they should all be proud of. I'll admit that when I heard about the award, I also had to look up what a symbiont was and confirm that I knew. I did. More seriously and more importantly, though, this award is special because systematic data sharing in my area of the social sciences is still very rare, and recognition for the work and the enormous amount of time that goes into sharing data provides a signal of value to my colleagues, perhaps to my tenure committee. But much more importantly, it sends a strong signal to others in the broader field that this data sharing stuff is not just a waste of time, or time that folks like myself should be putting into producing, another empirical research paper. I also hope that the award means that more people hear about the data sets that I've produced, especially the scratch data. I really want more people to use it and to be able to benefit from it, and I look forward to this award bringing some sort of recognition of its existence, which is perhaps a good segue into the sort of shameless plug part of this talk, which is to say that you can find all of my data sets on my webpage or on the Community Data Science Collective Dataverse, which is a website we put together to sort of collect these things. Sharing data is, as you all know, often thankless and largely unrecognized work. And I want to thank you all for recognizing me, and I want to in turn thank Aaron Shaw, Andres Monroy Hernandez, Shaimindu Das Gupta, and really all of my students and collaborators in the Community Data Science Collective for doing all the work that this award recognizes. This award really is for all of them and for all of the work that they've done. So thank you all again, and enjoy Hawaii.